Welcome to Literacy Home Learning. This is a literacy unit appropriate for children learning from home during this extended school closure. It is designed to provide learning opportunities for primary age children and will help to develop their ability within the national curriculum. This is lesson number 10 in the series. Please listen along, pause the video when necessary, and be sure to listen for the task appropriate for your age and ability. To be prepared for today's lesson, make sure you have something to write with and your home learning book. Follow along with the video and be sure to pause when you have been given a task to complete. You will know when to pause the video when you see the symbol in the bottom corner of the screen. Today's learning objective is to be able to write the next part of a story. Remember, by the end of this unit, we would like you to have planned, written and created your own version of the book Leon and the Place Between. Your book will be an alternate version of the story with your own drawings. Time for your first quick task of the lesson. Read your story opening with your home teacher. When you've finished, think about how you might want your story to continue. Remember to make notes in your home learning book. When continuing to write your story, it's important to understand how to link paragraphs. To link paragraphs, you will need to use fronted adverbials for either time, place or manner. Here are some examples. Time or when. You could use next, after that, then, afterwards, soon, all of a sudden, after a while. Place being where that happened. In their seats, on the stage, behind the curtain, behind them, in the tent, in the box, in the magician's hand. And finally, manner. This is how something happens. Slowly, quickly, with a flash, with a bang, suddenly, mysteriously, as quick as a flash. These are all fronted adverbials that you could use to link to your previous paragraph. Time to recap what happened in the story Leon and the Place Between when we met Abdul-Qasam, as this will be the part of the story that you are rewriting today. But remember, you will be writing your own version. In the story Leon and the Place Between, Abdul-Qasam appears on the stage. Abdul-Qasam starts performing magic tricks, like paper flowers blossomed from his sleeves, silk scarves change colours at a whispered word, water pours into a hat and turns into night's air, bright white handkerchiefs become fluttering doves. Abdul-Qasam reveals the box with a door to the place between, and finally, Abdul-Qasam asks someone to join him on stage. Time for your next quick task. With your home teacher, look back at yesterday's plan and make sure you are happy with the changes you have made to the story. Make any changes in your plan if you're not happy. Key Stage 1. Time for your main task of the lesson. In your home learning book, write the next part of your story. You must write 2 or 3 sentences about each box in your plan. Remember to explain what Abdul-Qasam looks like and the tricks that he does on the stage. Look at the next slide for help on how to do this. So this is what needs to be in your story, Key Stage 1. You need to introduce your magician. What tricks does he or she do? Describe both trick 1 and 2 in detail. Reveal the box with the door to the place between. And finally, call your main character onto stage. Here is some vocabulary that you might find handy when writing your story. Year 3 and 4, here's your main task of the lesson. In your home learning book, write the next part of your story. You must write 3 or 4 sentences about each box in your plan from last lesson. Remember to make changes to the original story to make your own alternate version. Remember to use the fronted adverbials from earlier to link your paragraphs. And finally, Year 5 and 6, here's your main task of the lesson. In your home learning book, write the next part of your story. You must write 4 or 5 sentences about each box in your plan from last lesson. Use the word banks you created in Lesson 9 to support your writing, and remember to make changes to the original story to make your own alternate version. Look at the next slide for some help on how to do this. So key stage 2, this is what needs to be in your story. You need to introduce the magician. What does he or she look like? How does your main character feel when the magician arrives on stage? You need to describe tricks 1, 2 and 3. But remember to describe the trick and how people feel. How do they feel about the second act? Reveal the box with the door to the place between. And finally, call your main character onto stage. Here is some high-level vocabulary to describe the setting that will support you in writing your story. Here is some high-level vocabulary to describe feelings. This may help you when describing how the characters feel when they see the magician or during the tricks. And finally, here's some high-level vocabulary to describe characters. This may help you when you're describing the magician in your story. So how do you think you've done? Time to share your work with your home teacher, but don't forget to check your spellings and punctuations before you do this. Well done everybody, that's the end of lesson 10. Be sure to join us in the next lesson to continue writing your story.